All right.
All right, this
So,
is
David,
JM2 with USA Crypto Group, and today we're going to be introducing METFX, which equals Metaverse Function. So, METFX promises to deliver a universe only limited by your imagination, offering unlimited scalability, cultures, ideas, events, and entertainment. So, right now we're talking with Goose. Who all do you guys have with you on your team? Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and what your background is?
yeah, so far, I come from the .com area. I've been a network engineer, system engineer for was like 15 years, and then I became an entrepreneur, in the Amazon on selling. So I've been doing that for another close to 15 years, and I got into the crypto space. My son, showed me about what Dogecoin was, and I was like, "What was that?" And I got into like Safe Moon, and then I was like, how do I get into like pre-sell or, pre-IPO? And so, I discovered this whole entire world. I've been rolling with Crypto Kid for the last past year, working on many different projects, you know, and now that we've here we are with METFX, and being kind of like seeing the way the market is, and what is it that we could be different if we enter into this space. And one of those was actually coming out with the utilities, before launch. So this is METFX. What makes us different is that we're going to be probably the first um, project to show movies in the metaverse, and the way that we're going to monetize that too, besides all the land sales, the NFT platform is that it's going to be converted into, not converted, but configured for watch to earn. So you're going to get paid for what normal people do, and we have a broad look at this thing. We're not just going to show United States movies. We're going to try to tap into Chinese movies, Indian movies, different movies around the world, that can cater to each geographic. So, with MetaFX, this is all based on Web3. We were going to think about going on to the virtual reality, but it's all about that Web3 application. I think everyone, it's easy to access to this metaverse via your mobile phone and on your web. Do we have that capability of this being a VR? Yes, 100% we do. But we definitely wanted to um, launch it more like on a Web3 um, type basis, So MetaFX is definitely something that's different. As you know, you look at Steppen, they did awesome with the watch to earn, through the working out to earn. I feel like what we have will definitely be one of the first to watch to earn movies, and get paid for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great concept. And before we get further into it, I kind of want to highlight your team because you guys have a pretty vast knowledge base. So you have Kim on your team. She's been a CEO of one company, and then she's owned at least two others. So she's pretty successful at business partnerships and making things streamlined. So I think that's an extremely key component. And you have Fahad, who works for the National Nuclear Security Administration for the U.S. So he not only does software development, but he's a security professional. So many people ask, what kind of securities do you have? What kind of experience? What kind of background? I think that's huge. Most likely he's got a top secret security clearance, which means he's pretty proficient in understanding security threats and risk analysis. So I wanted to touch on that. And then you have Crypto Kid, who's a professional marketer in Schiller. So you guys have quite a bit in your team. And then the final person on your team that I was really impressed with was, I think it was Arnaya, a skilled developer, and he set up 7 previous crypto projects. So everybody on your team is pretty well versed. And I thought that was very important to highlight that this isn't your first rodeo. You guys have a lot of things going on. And like you said, you're starting out with utilities already hitting the floor. So you're not waiting for it. You can already utilize them. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Part of that reason um, that we strive so much on the importance of utilities at launch, and the importance of developing a community that will engage with what we're trying to put out there, is because of our experience in the industry. Alvin is definitely a leader that people respect and trust, and he's built this from the ground up, and he's built he's surrounded himself with a powerful team. And I think like his ability to be flexible and to change METFX to make sure that it can become the best metaverse that it can be possibly be, it makes it a special team. So but I definitely think we need JM2 in our in-house AMAs to introduce the team. That was a great introduction, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's pretty interesting because you guys are coming back, and to see some of the updates that you guys have been bringing, and then looks like even some of the suggestions or things we talked about have been highlighted in there too. So it's not just that you guys are doing the AMAs, but you're listening to user feedback, AMAs, things like that, and you're growing, and you guys are growing stronger and better, and the ideas are getting more complex and interesting. So I'm really excited to see what happens on launch with your project, and I guess just the general direction and expansion as you guys go forward.
No, absolutely. A lot of the changes we implemented have been a result because of the community feedback in these AMAs. So, it's real important for us to get your, honest feedback about the project. And, we do take it to heart. We, we go back to the drawing table if there's something we can improve. And that's the way we kind of operate METFX on that type of level.
Perfect. So,
never mind. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So with your team, how did you guys meet each other? Have you been in the crypto sphere for a while and you met online, or you just have worked with business professionals throughout your career from some of the vast businesses that you've done, and then you decided, hey, let's get together and check out crypto together?
I think that, Fod's like my brother-in-law. And, just him, and I met Crypto Kid, in this space, and other people, we pretty much the team, like Arnaya and Crypto Kid and Escanor, Vic, and, the rest of the pack, we've hung out with each other for about a year now, and so, we understand crypto. We're not like coming from business, outside world with that type of a mentality. And we understand how, speed and utility and community and marketing, is really, really key to all of this. And, with Crypto Kid and his experience, and I've seen, some of the things that he's done to really just pump up the charts. And companies are constantly seeking him out for, his marketing. Just even today, he spoke to Ice Cube, because Ice Cube's coming out with his NFT series. He says, hey, bro, guess who called me up? I go, who? He goes, he said, it's Ice Cube. I'm talking to him right now. So, just the fact that Crypto Kid is building his name up in this industry where people are really coming to him, and him not, seeking their business. They're actually coming to him because he's made that establishment. Royal Finance that is coming out, they that's Kay's and Chief's project and a couple other people. They came to Crypto Kid, seeking for his services that he does in this crypto space. So, the fact that we have somebody that's been down, that's been there with experience, it's good to have that on your team. So we're not left, twiddling our thumbs and figuring out, okay, what do we need to do? So we've also, I've been working with another group that we all kind of like work together, that Crypto Kid works to. They're very experienced too, as far as their marketing tools that they have, whether for trending, on different sites, like Dex Tools and CMC and CG and Crypto.com, and but they do tremendous marketing. It was strange because he goes up to me and he goes, hey, Al, man, I'm not going to be selling that service no more. I go, no, he's selling the services, but he says the price went up, $85,000. I said, wow. I go, I'm lucky that I'm getting it for so cheap. He goes, yeah, because it's so effective. They have a way to bring in hundreds and thousands of people during the right time before pre-sale. And so he's upped it because of their marketing way of doing it. You know, it's phenomenal. So I'm glad that I have that connection, and they're willing to work with us. You know, um, but like I said, with METFX, man, we're experienced people in the game, and we're very bendable, and we do things as a team, we make decisions as a team, and that's what I love about this group. We have a good time doing our planning and executing, and we're just not like four people or five people. There's literally about 20 people that actually work for METFX. We have copywriters who take down their notes, and it just makes everything flow, that every time that we have that meeting. So we definitely have people. We're structured, in a way where it just makes life more easier, for us.
No, that's great. I definitely like you guys have the general consensus and the rapport with each other to be able to do a voting system and come to the same conclusion. Even if you don't always agree with everything, it shows that you guys have a good process going forward. So now that we've talked a little bit about your team and kind of how you met, what's the overall goal of METFX? Can you explain that for us? Like, what's your project?
I think, it's the entertainment hub. It's things that you can do in the metaverse. We want to bring different experiences. We want to do a lot of collaboration, and really, bring these ideals to life, where you can just jump into one portal, like the one that I'm going to show you. It's so easy for us to create another new environment. I think one of the environments that we had on the ideal is, to able to fly dragons, and in that space, and just kind of like tear things up, and um, just bringing different experiences. But I think the way that what MetaFX is doing is we're bringing in that treasure hunt, where it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a gamer to join this game. It's really a treasure hunt, and it's not like a play to earn kind of thing where you have to be a gamer, which a lot of these games that are coming out in cryptos, it's all about that play to earn. But we wanted to do something different, where we want to bring a lot of different, ages into our metaverse. And so we came out with the treasure hunt. So we'll have these NFTs, and we'll have a message board of all the things that you can win and you can hunt within our metaverse. And so it's just another way of um, for us to attract more users to the platform, because I think that's really, really important, especially that the fact that we have our HD high definition billboards and watching into the metaverse, and we want to attract other businesses to actually what's that word again, advertise. You know, so we're getting there. So we have approximately about I think it's around about 10 to 15 devs who's working on the NFT platform. We're right now in that stage where land sales can actually be purchased now. We're getting to that stage where we're going to be configuring land sales and chopping up the land, and getting people to buy on pre-sale. So
Yeah, absolutely. And then like with what's going on in the world today, you have the pandemic, you have the war going on in Ukraine. You know, video calling and conferencing, became, widely available and more used, obviously, with Skype and all those video calling, but they lack like that depth of like interaction that comes from like meeting physically, So that's why the metaverse has emerged as like a solution to this issue. But metaverses from now, have been limited, to meetings, to basic games, to buying spots on the grid, and we just wanted to create, enrich like a full experience for the user with our metaverse, and that's the reason we created MetaFX to be like a world of entertainment, open, decentralized economy, basically.
yeah, and what's really great is that our devs, are we going to do this strictly on the blockchain? And the fact that one of the devs is like, how do we incorporate other blockchains into our metaverse? So we decided that we're going to go with being a database driven metaverse, where we can people that can afford to have a metaverse in a sense, or don't want to take on that big task, or they have their games, we can onboard, all, those types of projects into our metaverse, which is really cool because we're database driven, you know.
Definitely think it opens the door for a lot more possibilities for people, kind of like what you're saying, based on the cultures and things like that, different ideas. Because in there, it did say you guys want to make it global. So I think that's a fantastic idea and opportunity because it doesn't really leave anybody out. It's a 24/7, 365 platform that's constantly scaling. So I did have a question about that, though. Are you planning on putting something like a Google Translator in there? Because you will have different people from different cultures. You'll have different writing in the game. Is that something you guys are looking into?
You know what? We never actually thought of it, and I'm actually kind of glad to be here to get some feedback and some improvements. So definitely, that's definitely I could take up with the devs and try to implement. Right now, like the video, there's a we've you're gonna have like sort of like a backpack kind of thing where in our metaverse, um, if you were going to go into one part of the metaverse where it's like zombies just coming after you and all of this, you can go ahead and you could switch up on your avatar. You can have different weapons. Um, and as soon as you leave that configured area for that gaming, all those attributes would drop off, and then you would just kind of like you could switch up on the same avatar or a different avatar, just not with those capabilities of going up to somebody in the metaverse and start shanking them with with the sword and stuff. But you know, um, one of the things that we're going to show is that there's privacy in our metaverse. Where you can have an access code if you own a building or you own a club and you want to have it private, or you're having some type of outdoor function, like a street party, block party, or just even a club, or just any type of entertainment that you want to set up. So let's say you want to set up your comedy club and you're selling tickets on our NFT platform. Not anybody can just go in there and um, watch for free or just be there for free. They would have to have an access code just to get in. And so that's actually one of the things that we're going to show you through this video that we have that shows those kind of functionalities. It even goes to the point where people can go into different parts of the metaverse in these worlds, and the only way to get in is you're going to have to pay. So it's just another way that we can monetize on the platform, but also give that access where if you do own your own home or your own building or club, and you can make it private and you could just send out what the private code is.
Yeah, let's check that out. I want to see what you guys have to offer, and then we'll ask some more questions from there.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead.
And just a little bit more about the international aspect. We do have international teams set up to help promote this, like especially with like the Asian community. We have a full team that will be promoting this to that group of that part of the world. And we have we just added today a person that's going to be in charge of Brazil and Spain and stuff like that. So international growth is definitely a big part of what we're trying to do with METFX.
So what I'm about to show you on the screen, let's see here.
Start from the beginning. So that's the login screen for the metaverse.
Hey, Crypto, you got something in the background. It's hard to hear you on the mic.
Yeah, right now he's just this is the part of the metaverse. You can see the screens up there. So on these screens, we definitely plan to have like um, everything from advertising from different companies to showing movies in the metaverse. Um, uh, there's going to be multiple screens set up throughout the city. The city that we're building here is called Sky City. You can see the guy, basically exploring and going around. Um, you know, uh, we'll have different portals that will take you to different spots of the metaverse. Um, Part of the reason why we want people to explore the metaverse is because of the treasure hunt. Um, we definitely try to um, you know uh, have people explore the metaverse due to the treasure hunts. So you can see the portal led him to a private room. Now, this private room is not set up, but basically, the devs plan to use this where you can implement, like, say, NFTs. Like, so for instance, we can have a private room in the metaverse for USA crypto. You guys can sell NFTs that give those users an access code to get to that private room. And it can be like a security code where it's like a 6-digit number. It can be an access code on the NFT, but basically it's limited to people that have the NFTs or that have that code. And so we wanted to create that security in the metaverse of people having their own private rooms. It could be anything from a meeting for work. It could be a meeting for people in USA crypto to get together and talk about a project, or to even host the AMA in the metaverse, or whatever it is. You see, there's the code that they're entering right there, and basically they're taking the portal, which will lead them back to the main part of the city. You can go ahead, Alvin, and talk about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different technologies that we're gonna actually have. They're pretty kind of dope with Fox. He knows about 20 different languages in programming, and for him to develop this stuff, he's one of those freaking nature kind of like brainiac guys, man. Um, but anyways, as far as the metaverse goes, this is we're having our utilities, and we're going to be constantly building and building and do those partnerships. And I'd love people to do their AMAs in the metaverse, you know, rather than just Discord, kind of like just flavor up things, give a different environment. One of the things that I personally is going to create, for sure, is our NFT gallery. Um, and I've been talking about this, and I want to draw the NFT community to come in. I want to name streets after different projects, that are NFTs. I want to
And you
bring
can
in
see the
that
quality of the
yeah,
video that's being shown there. So they definitely wanted to make sure that they were showing high quality videos on these screens throughout the metaverse. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, totally. So the NFT gallery that we're kind of like building is another way we could draw more people in the NFT community. The fact that it's going to be like an NFT town, and they're going to have street names. People can go ahead and purchase. They want to have their own private club. And give that secretive, privately kind of thing. Because in the NFT, it's either you're a club or you're a gang, right? So we want to draw many NFT projects into our metaverse. So one of that is through the NFT town with the NFT gallery, where people can showcase their NFTs for sale, and just kind of give a different ambiance where you can actually meet with the creators and actually talk to them while they're sharing, what their NFT is about, and the different types of utility and so forth. So, this is METFX, man. We're definitely a bunch of guys that are experienced in crypto, and I think we really have a good creative team to just bring a lot of these ideals to life. So um, I think it's exciting. One of the other things too about us is that watch to earn. It's different. We want to get people to get paid for something that you already do, and we're going to expand on that and build on that. That watch to earn feature. and the way that we're going to monetize and bring that revenue in. So, we have several ways that we monetize to keep us going. One, it's going to be our land sales, our NFT platform when we onboard NFTs, just some of the attributes that you can purchase from on our NFTs, watch to earn. We're getting adverts from people watching, commercials and so forth, advertising. Also, once our user base grows, we're going to be able to shill a project, or shill a channel. Let's just say
Yeah,
USA
and
one.
I think that's the most important aspect of the metaverse is creating that community growth where we have a place where, that's attracting, hundreds of thousands of people to a metaverse. And, because the ability to monetize it will always come for us. Where, there's many ways that we can monetize the metaverse, but the truly most important aspect of this metaverse is to make sure we build a strong community behind it. Because once we have that, the rest is easy. We can easily charge, companies to display ads on the TV screens throughout the metaverse. Once we have those numbers to show them, like, okay, this is the amount of people that's using the metaverse and exploring, and that will see your ad play in the metaverse. And it all comes down to numbers. And if they see a positive effect from it, I'm sure word of mouth will spread about what type of results we can produce.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really good strategy going forth. That's what was going to be my next question was, how are you going to pay to earn? And you guys just perfectly covered that, because you're going to have the advertisements, you're going to have people wanting to go on there and pitch their project and things like that. So I think that's a really good passive income stream to not only put money into your future advertisements, but potentially into the staking pools and other things to reward your users for holding the tokens.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as like the token supply and stuff like that, which can be seen on our website and white paper, we kind of plan to do a watch to earn as well. So we definitely have those plans in place, and the tokenomics in place to do something like that.
Perfect. So now that we've talked a little bit about tokens, I want to go into your guys' token allocation and how that's going to work. You guys are, like you said, way ahead of the game because you're already releasing utility before launch. But I want to see where you're at with your fundraising right now. So I saw that you guys have a seed allocation that's going to be 1.55% of the token supply. So where are you guys at currently with raising funds for that? And then how much is the minimal and the maximum buy-in? I'll ask more after that. But so the minimum and max buy-in, your seed sale, and how much have you sold so far?
We sold approximately about $200,000 worth of seed sell. We actually changed the vesting period. We wanted to be less strict. We wanted people to get at least, I think, 15% on the day of launch, and they get dropped every single weekly. Is how we're doing it. So, yeah, but we raised about $200,000 in just in that round, and so right now we're moving towards to the private sale, which is going to be open, and we're going to be launching on approximately, I think, as of today, we decided that we're going to shoot for higher numbers for more visibility on the project, which is roughly around about 10 IDOs is the goal. We've already got 2. We're going to be in talks with setting up a meeting with Blockpad, which is Blocktopia, and with other various IDOs that are out there. So we definitely not doing the marketing, like, I won't pretty much get into that, but we're really relying on several factors to bring in the crowd in. And number one, it's to being on the IDO Launchpad, because the amount of visibility that people are subscribed to those IDO Launchpads.
Perfect. So with that, what was the minimum and maximum contribution for each person for the seed sale?
It was $250 to $5,000.
Perfect. So that means you have quite a bit of different wallets or potential holders. So I think it's pretty fantastic to highlight that portion. And so private sale, when is that going to start? And then what's the percentage discount on that compared to pre-sale and launch?
I think on
SNR,
the private sale.
SNR, can you answer that, SNR?
Yes, can you repeat the question for me?
Yeah, so for seed sale, you guys already sold out of that. So for private sale, what is the percentage discount from your pre-sale and your launch price?
So we didn't sell out the entire seed sale. No, we didn't sell out the entire allocation. We just sold the maximum of it. And for the private sale, the token price is like if you participated in the seed round, you will get a 3x on your investment on the launch. If you participated in the second phase of the seed round, you would get a 2x. If you participated in the private sale, you would get a 1.5x. And if you participated in the pre-sale, you would get 1.5x. So that gives you a total discount of 50% on the 25% on the private sale, and one second, I messed up. Yeah, 20% on the private sale and 25% on launch, according to the pre-sale.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you said private
pre-sale.
sale was 20%?
Yes.
Okay, and then pre-sale is like 15 then probably, because it's going to be a little bit less?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
like if let me drop the kit book there, you guys can check it out.
no, it is. One of the things is that to be upfront and everything, the tokenomics will stay the same, but with the allocation and things like that, it could possibly change because it just depends on the amount of IDOs that we choose to go on. But as far as whatever round that you get in, that will stay the same. It's just a matter of just how many more IDOs that we want to onboard. So we might have a bigger allocation for pre-sale, depending on how many IDOs we have. So just to give you guys heads up on that, which is really a good thing. The more IDOs that we get on, the more visibility of the project. And if you get in on any of the round, it's not like you're battling, when we launch to try to get in, So, it's really a good time to try to get into those open rounds, while we have them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to see the discounts and then what you have available right now, because people listening and looking at the product and seeing what you have to offer might want to ape in. So just trying to give them all the information, and on top of that, just show, hey, if you get in here, this is what you get. Or if you decide to wait until launch, this is where you're at. You did talk about a vesting period. So I believe the seed sale was a 15% upfront and then 4% per week, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That sounds right.
And then I think private sale was 20% upfront, and then pre-sale was 25% upfront with 4% or 5% weekly allocations, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. The thing is, when you go on your pre-sale, it's going to be a lot more small allocations, just because the IDOs have so many people that they have. So, we're still determining on what that allocation is going to be. It's not like when you're in the private or the seed, you can, like in the private, you can go up to $2,000, but when it comes down to pre-sale, those can be really, really small allocations,
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to go over the information so people can understand that even though they did have a larger token supply from buying earlier, it's not like they're going to take their whole bag and dump it on day one, because you guys have something set up. So they're vested. And then you guys are also going to have your staking pools as, I guess, an incentive to hold and, keep the floor for the project. But I just wanted to go over that. And then for the allocation, it did say you have 15% of the token supply, which is a larger number. So could you explain why you decided for that? Was it because you have a larger team, or or what's your plans with the 15%?
The 15% is definitely, we want to definitely bring in and attract people to run the company, and there has to be an incentive for those people. I think, I'll stay as a CEO, but talking about like VPs and directors and things like that with um, a lot of experience is what we want to attract to the company to really build a strong team. And so how do you incentivize those people when they want to come on board? Because this is really, really a big project. I mean, when you're talking about, a streaming application, look at Tubi. Tubi's, they did in 2021, they did $130 million just in ad revenue on old movies, and so when we're talking, at their figures in 2023, they're looking to be a $650 million revenue just on their streaming app. So, when you have that type of when you have that type of income, we want to definitely bring people who are very, very experienced, business sense, and on board, and do a lot of collaboration with other companies and bringing those companies into our metaverse. So definitely, we set those things aside. The thing with those tokens, they're locked for 1 year and they're spread out for 2 years. So, we could assure that, you're not going to get dumped on uh, for that first year. Not to say that you ever would get dumped on, but I'm just saying, you're safe for 1 year with people's profits and so forth. So, we want to make sure that um, it's a safe project. We just did our KYC, and we're going to get our contract audited, and then after launch, we're going to get that CertiK audit. Um, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's the 15% allocation. It's because we definitely see the growth and the fact that, we have our utilities, we're going to be looked differently from other big investors. The fact that we have our utilities already. So, we definitely want to see this growth. We have that vision of being a real big player in this game, especially to the watch to earn. I mean, you look at Steppen, I don't know, I think Steppen's at what, $200 billion market cap, I think, creeping on, and the whole it's no longer the play to earn now. It's the working out. We know several working out people in this industry like Virtual, I think I'm not too sure if they're a pretty high market cap, and we just see how play to earn, I mean watch to earn can really, really be a huge, thing in this industry as far as a different project that we have that capability where people can get paid, watching movies, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the concept. It's very interesting, and I think it's a great idea because, like you said, if you're already going to be doing it, why not get paid for it? So it's a fantastic idea. So going back to the token allocation, you have a 0.5% going to exchanges. So when you go onto the exchange, I know different ones require different amount of token supply. So what's your plans on the tokens that have been distributed to the exchange for the initial, I guess, buy-in to use their product to launch? Do you plan on buying those back for the community, or you guys feel secure enough where it won't make a dent in your chart if they decide to sell once your project starts in price?
Well, I think that's part of the importance of having a market maker team, which we will have um, with us to basically help guide us on situations such as what you explained when you give a portion of your supply to an exchange for a listing. So part of that market maker team that we're going to bring on is going to be vital in helping us on guiding us to what to do in that situation.
Yeah, and it's kind of like important to, that we're holding back on a lot of things that we are doing. I mean, I could have easily came out with the application already, and one of those things is even um when we announce news, especially like if we're distributing tokens, we want to hold back those news to, make people think twice about selling or holding, you know. And this is why we're definitely going to have the market maker to keep our charts healthy and to keep this thing pumping. And eventually, this is the reason why we're coming out with our NFT series. We want to use the money to pay to get onto these exchanges. We want to be on KuCoin. We want to be on, Binance and I think it's I'm not too sure what that other Indian exchange is, but there's these other big exchanges. We want to use those funds to get onto those exchanges. Um, and so, going back to what you're saying in regards to I think the selling of the tokens. I'm not too sure if that's even factual because I think you need to give them tokens in order for them to build that liquidity pool. You know.
Yeah, so I kind of misspoke on that. I was talking about the initial launch pad, whatever method you guys decide to launch on. I know that exchanges, you have to give a certain amount of token supply, like
Yeah.
you said, to make the
Oh no
base
no no
for it
no
to
no.
allow
We
them to
don't.
trade.
We're not, I'm sorry to cut you off. We're not giving any of the supplies to any of the
The launch
IDO
pad.
launch pads.
Yeah. None.
Okay, perfect. That's a
Yeah.
perfect answer. I like that. So
Yeah. They
we
they,
can go
they
back
changed it
to
up now. They changed it up. They really did. That they used to do, and I think for since there's so many different launch pads, they're making it competitive. We don't need token supply, well, they'll dump on us, so it's not going to happen. So all the audio launch pads that we're going to be going on to is not requiring a certain allocation, none at all.
perfect. And then the last part of the token allocation was your advisor section. So is that going to be like potential call channels or AMA groups, or who's that allocation going to? And then what's the vesting period for them?
It'll be the same vesting period as the I think the private sales, to be honest with you, if I recall. I'm not too sure. I don't have that information on hand. But we have people like Nico, who's on our team, Satoshi Street Bets Business. So they're kind of like guiding us, and other several people that are guiding us. That those are going to be allocated to them, um, and the people that we're also going to be on board um, to help us guide through the whole process and work with other um, call channel groups. I'm trying to establish a business relationship with cryptos in influencers and that kind of stuff. So we need to allocate some of those things to them. If we get that what is it called? Brand ambassadors, also people who are in the movie industry. We have to allocate some of those tokens to incentivize us to be on board with us if they're going to do brand ambassading and so forth. So there's definitely a lot of that 2.5% that's there for that very purpose. But for sure, 100% those are vested to as well. That's not going to be given to just anyone freely because that is a lot of tokens for even if it was like a quarter of that or less than a quarter, it's still a lot of tokens. We definitely don't want to, have people dump on us, even though they have good intentions, So we want to definitely safeguard um, the entire project.
Yeah, definitely. When you're making partnerships and things like that, you just want to make sure that it's in the best interest of the project. It sounds like you've done your due diligence in scouting out potential projects and partnerships that will help you guys in a professional manner. So I really like that. Talking about the liquidity from your initial sales, you said 0.64%, so just over 0.5%, which seems pretty low. But then if you go to your actual tokens, your taxes, you guys are collecting quite a bit, 3%. So I think that evens out, and I'm figuring that's part of your strategy, correct?
Yeah, totally. I mean, we have that functionality in our contract where we can, if we want to build that liquidity pool, we can allocate more percentage into it. Even though the taxes are staying at 8 or 9%, we can, if we're like, okay, we're monetizing, we're okay, we don't really need those marketing and development wallet um taxes, we can start building the liquidity pool. Um, more up, if that makes sense.
And we have a portion of the funds set aside so we can do buybacks to build that liquidity pool um, as we go as well.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Cool.
what market making is all about. But we'll just use the term buybacks.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So the last question for like the token supply and all that, when you guys are doing your initial sale, what's going to be the soft cap, the hard cap, and then what's going to be your starting MC when you hit the market guesstimated?
I think, with the market cap,
Esnar?
no, I got that one. I was talking to it changed based on the tokenomics. We were looking at starting market cap was about $550 million market cap. It may increase up to, we're gonna put it this way, we're gonna stay underneath a million for sure. We're gonna stay underneath a million. Some of the things that was literally brought up to us, and this is why we want to increase more audio launch pads and may get maybe just one or two VCs to help us out. It's really the market making, with the conditions of the market and stuff like that. We have to put more money into the market making to keep the charts healthy. And this is coming from an IDO launch pad that we're talking to, and the projects that they've launched on their IDO launch pads have gone over 100x, 150x, and the guidance that they're giving us is the market making is the thing that we need to raise. So we have to probably increase our raise a little bit more for the hard cap so that we can cover more of the market making, which was about $400,000 is what they were looking at, for us to have a very successful launch. So, as things progress, things have changed, because we're seeking out, expertise, especially, with certain audio launch pads. They take a look at projects very, very carefully, and they give us that guidance. Well, this is what you need, Al. You need that market making, and this is what it's going to really cost to make sure that you guys have an awesome launch and keep the charts healthy. So I hope all that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. So you said 550K market cap is going to be your start, correct?
It's gonna start, but we definitely can change it. But we want to definitely keep everything underneath $1 million. I mean, yeah, underneath $1 million.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Starting off lower and then getting that really organic growth, and it's going to allow a lot more people to buy in. And I think just from that, you're going to have a lot better of a start, and it's going to be way healthier for your project. So I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Cool. So now that we're done with all the numbers, let's get into some of the fun stuff from you guys. So for your movies, how will you guys be running that? Are you going to have a schedule of movies, kind of like an old style movie theater, or is it going to be like Netflix where you have 500 off, you just choose as necessary?
We have several ways that we're doing it. Right now, we want to have that scheduling for the movies that we're going to be putting on there, whether it's anime movies, USA kind of like movies, um, you know, but it'll all be all scheduled out. We're going to be building different huge uh, drive-in theaters for different international movies. We want to get into um, not just having one genre of music, but having a better geographic where other people can come on in and watch movies. We want to definitely tap into the anime. I mean, there's like 2 billion users out there. There's two billion people that watch, animes, and what a good way for them to watch it. Is going to be through our web through our web. Right now, we're trying to configure the screens where even though you're in the metaverse and you can see other people, as long as you can tap that screen, it could literally blow up where you don't really need to see all of that other stuff, that goes on, with the other automobiles and so forth. So anytime a person could just go in there and they could just tap on the screen and it could literally blow up more, you know. without seeing the other elements that are kind of like going back. So we definitely want to tap into, different international movies, different genres and things like that. But yeah.
No, I think that's a great way to captivate people. And since you have them there, just like an actual movie theater, that's the perfect time for intro, outro. That's where you guys get your lined up projects, advertisements, things like that going in. So do you guys
Exactly.
have?
And then part of, we wanted people to have the ability, if you're in the metaverse with someone that's, around the block or, thousands of miles away across the world, you guys are able to watch the same movie at the same time. Because, our goal with the whole metaverse was to create that interaction among people, and that social experience for the user. So that's part of the reason why we have that movie showing, you know, at various times, and not just, depending on when the user presses play or not. It'll be shown throughout the screens, but we do have those private rooms where you'll have the ability to pick a movie from the library and watch it, without it being like on the public screens throughout the metaverse.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. So are you guys going to incorporate a thing for the private movie showings where the user can pay an extra fee to bypass the commercials, which then puts extra revenue into your database or into the
Oh yeah,
blockchains?
that's definitely 100%. I think a lot of streaming apps, um, that's what they do, right? They give you the free version, but it comes with, advertisements. And so if you don't want to have those advertisements, then you're gonna have to pay that premium slot. And it'll probably, we're gonna open up to other varieties of other more movies of selection, kind of thing. So, we really have a lot of stuff um in mind that we want to bring, to the live streaming app to draw those people in. I was been talking to Nico, and I was we need to get that documentary called Rugs. We need to draw, that curiosity where people can watch this documentary that all of us has, been experiencing, and it doesn't cost much to create that documentary. You just have to, it's not as expensive as you would think. But imagine if you were able to create a documentary on this space, the darkness and the goodness of it. But it's actually going to be called Rugged, and this is something that we want to aim for later down the road, and draw more people to the platform, because I think all of us has experienced it, and the fact that there's millions of people, just even in the NFT world, people are getting rugged over there. So I think it's going to bring a lot of curiosity and another educational, aspect of it to kind of like watch out and what to look for. So, we have these ideals to draw people and just do that application, but the metaverse too, just having the treasure hunt and the things that you can do with that and actually win rewards. You know, I don't know what metaverse can actually do that, where a person can win $100,000 or $50,000, just for hunting these NFTs. So we're
Yeah.
gamifying. So
Absolutely, and that's
yeah.
and that's part of the reason, Alvin, that we have that partnership with Chad Stoops, who's actually like a Hollywood movie director, because we want him to create short videos that we can use on social media, of course, but we also want him to create user content in the space as well. Just like how Netflix makes their own movies and stuff like that. We want to try to do that with some content material as well, in addition to the movies that you can pick from the library.
Yeah.
That's a great bit of expansion for you guys. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've thought about it. Like I said, our
Well, we
team,
see
because
Netflix
we
subscriber numbers going down, so we see that they're leaving, going somewhere, and we think that they're leaving Netflix and going to the metaverse and these other streaming sites, because we can. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow Netflix stock, but it's been on a really hard downtrend lately because of its, the first time in a long time they lost subscribers. And I think that's just part of the trend that's to come, with people just, not paying for their movie, like traditionally on their TV or on their computer or on their PC or whatever, and just, trying to make an experience out of it, and, watching something for free in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely highlights one of the major issues, centralized versus decentralized. And I think in the decentralized atmosphere, people are going to group share, and they're going to come together to make it cheaper for each other. But Netflix's downfall was the fact that they said you can no longer share with your family members if it's not the same IP address. We're going to charge them as well. So that's where that opportunity comes in for you guys, like you said, with the private or the group rooms, where people can go in and watch these movies and do these things like that. But that does bring me to the question of, how are the fees going to work for the movies? So are you guys thinking of, since you already have it pretty much paid for potentially for your ecosystem, are you going to be doing like $4 to $5 movies versus going to a movie theater in person and paying $20, $30 after you get all the food for one person?
Honestly, the way that if we get into the premiere movies per se, right, it's a little bit different scale, because that's one of our biggest approach. One of our things that we're going to do is to bring these premiere movies, in our metaverse. And, we can't, sell these movies for cheap because, of course, they're going to take 60%, or maybe even more, and you only take 30%. That's why the concessions are so freaking expensive for a hot dog and and a drink and so forth. But in terms of when we do the application where they want to subscribe, a little bit more, yeah, we definitely want to have that much more affordable than what Netflix is charging. You have to do that, if you want to break in users. It's hard times, right now for a lot of people. And if they can save, they'll switch up. I mean, I started watching Tubi. I was like, Netflix, okay. I wanted to get a, see other movies too as well. So I haven't really subscribed to Tubi like for their upgrade or anything like that. But I watch the adverts. I have no problem with it. But in terms of what you're talking about, yeah, most definitely, it's got to be cheap. We want to be affordable for people, especially in people in third world. Because
Ultimately, we want to be paying people to watch these movies, and we don't really want to be charging them. But however, we'll have like a feature where you can skip the commercials and pay a fee, of course. But ultimately, our goal is to provide content where the user can watch to earn, and explore this metaverse, and in this world, and take advantage of the treasure hunt. That's all in mind. But of course, we'll have options where, if the user doesn't want to watch like commercials in their private room, when they're watching a movie, they'll have the features to turn it off for a few dollars. Um, yeah, that will be available. But ultimately, we want to pay people to watch movies.
yeah, totally. Those things haven't been really like set in stone. Um, and that's something that we have to, once we have our application up, then we could give you those solid answers. But we have this kind of like grasp of, how we're going to monetize it and what we're going to charge and those kind of sort of stuff. This is still like in early developments. And once that application comes out, then we could target it. Because right now, what we're targeting, the most is being on these audio launch pads, focusing on the two utilities. I think that's the most important in doing the land sales and developing our metaverse in terms of the application in itself, which we will have. It's when we come out to put out those fees and stuff, we could definitely give you that concrete answer. But it's just, we have somewhat the ideal. Of course, we're going to charge, but what is that going to be? What is that going to be the dollar amount? And I don't want to give anybody, any false information, out there. But definitely, as far as subscription wise, yes, we will charge, um, without the um, without the commercials. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be asking 100 questions. It's what I do. So sorry in advance. But with
No,
that, yeah, with the
me,
movie
I just don't want to
portion,
bullshit the audience. You know what I mean? I just don't want to bullshit people. I want to be straightforward about what we do and things. And if I can't give you that concrete answer, I don't want to give an answer at all. You know, but as far as terms of what you're saying, that we will monetize. It's really important that the platform monetizes, and we have that. We have it. We can do it in so many different ways. I mean, Sin City, they did what, $3 million in land sales. Well, we can do that too as well. You know, NFT platforms monetizing, we can do that too as well. So we have a revenue stream that we're going to be tapping into to keep this ecosystem sustainable and manageable for this project.
no, definitely I like that, and I think that's one of the reasons why we were so excited to have you back. You gave us a lot of really straight answers, and you said, "I'm not going to BS you guys. This is where we're at, and we'll come back in a couple months or a month, and we'll talk to you and tell you what the updates are." So I think that's very important and admirable on your part. But the last two things I had for the movies, it does say that you guys are going to be doing royalties for contributing artists. So that kind of leads me to believe it's potentially not just for NFTs, but are you guys going to do something like maybe once a month where you have an indie film for, say, someone who has a good production, but they can't get into Hollywood? But there would be like a cheap fee for people to get in. The artist pays you a little bit, and then whatever's extra left over, maybe they get a little bit of the contributions as like METFX tokens, and they have their project splayed out to thousands of people that are within your community.
Oh yeah, totally.
No,
As far as the payment structure and how we get paid, but we definitely want to onboard third party because it's a need. There's a lot of short stories, short movies, and they can't get them on these platforms, and they won't have that visibility. And that's something that we can provide, in the form of an NFT, where people can actually these people can actually who are artists can make their movie in the form of an NFT, and people can download it and they can make their profits while we make our money via the transaction fees that we charge, whether it's 2.5%, so definitely content creators in the movie industry who make these short films, long films, we won't deny them, because we want to open that door for them to be on a platform because we're decentralized, you know.
yeah,
As
no,
far
that's
as
the whole goal of our NFT platform is to try to basically attract these artists, whether it's a person that makes movies or a person that makes NFTs, and showcase their talents to our user base. And that's the reason. You know, that's the idea of why MetaFX was built. It was to help people have the ability to showcase their talents that otherwise wouldn't be able to create a metaverse on their own. And to just imagine a person that makes NFTs, not a coin. Let's just say like a private artist who's selling one out of one NFTs. Now they have a place where they can get a land in our metaverse, turn that land into a museum, and you walk in there and you can see all their NFTs hanging on the wall like it's an art museum. And now they're giving the user an experience. They're showcasing their art, and in addition to that, everybody makes money.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great opportunity for people, and I think that's just going to enhance the interest of members to onboard and kind of check new things out that they're not previously exposed to. So I think that's a really good thing to do.
And that's where Chad comes in. He's also an independent filmmaker, and he's creating his own film. And what a better way. Sometimes when you try to swing this to like Netflix, they get a lot of these independent movies where people want to actually sell it to them, and you can get turned down, and that's something that could be just be an opinion on Netflix, but it actually be a great show, and we open that door where people can actually come and
And
bring.
that's part of the reason, Alvin, that we're attracting like huge projects. I mean, we just announced in our community the other day that we're gonna have a partnership with Board A TV, which is a project that's backed by one of the IPs of the actual Board 8. And so we're gonna do some type of
Multiple.
collaboration.
Yeah, multiple. Yeah,
Correct.
multiple. It's multiple. I actually seen the uh the pitch deck. It's multiple. Board apes, but not just only just the board apes. People are on there. There's actually people who work for Lucasfilms. People who wrote the white paper for Axie Infinity's on that team too as well. So with Board Ape TV, doing that collaboration, once they launch, I'm telling you, we're gonna adopt all that user base once we make that announcement that we do the partnership. And the reason why I have that partnership is because I'm on the team. You get what I mean? So, you know, it's the fact that I'm on that team, as an advisory. He's one of my good friends, um, and we're helping him out to launch his project. And the fact that when HEV, launches, it's going to be huge. It's going to be monstrous. So, when we announce that partnership, you know, man, people are going to know more about our project and buy into ours because we're building things together. So, the exciting thing is, I talk to Jerome every single day. I talk to this guy. He's just like, dude, we can get on, Lucasfilm's ranch. This is where we're gonna host this big event. The launch of Board ATV. It's exciting. That to have that partnership. So that we're gonna create. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
excited
some
about
pretty huge news right there. That's
that.
fantastic.
Yeah, I got the
So
pitch deck, guys. Been working on it. My girl has been working on this pitch deck. We've created the room for them. And we have that partnership. It's because I'm also part of that team. Even though we're working on with METFX, I have to find that room because I want that partnership. So, I'm extending myself out there, and my team knows about it. And so definitely, my team is going to help me fill my shoes where I can't be because I want that partnership because Ape TV will be huge. The fact that 8 Point right now is pumping, the fact that Board Ape TV is going to
Maybe
be coming
Alvin,
out.
maybe we can have a giveaway of in our community where someone gets to attend with you to George Lucas's ranch, because I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in going there.
Yeah, it's possible, for sure. I mean, it's in California. If you live in California, yeah, definitely. I don't know. Seattle can come down. He's not too far.
oh man, you're gonna make him excited. You don't need to give him
Yeah.
those kudos.
Yeah, no, it's
And
funny,
anyway,
man. I met people from different. I've met people in crypto. I'll see them at the bar. I know some of the guys who do H&NW. One of the guys over there, SK. We'll hook up and have a beer, kind of thing, and we'll chop it up. Yeah, I meet people all the time. I met up with Firestarter. They're another audio launch pad, and I met up with those guys. So I definitely meet up with people in the crypto industry. You know, but yeah, this whole thing with HCV is going to be huge, guys. I'm really really excited, and I think that's going to be great news for us, and for our holders when HCV comes out. And once we make those announcements of that partnership, there's going to be more visibility because normally if you have that partnership, that we're doing something already, that we're already planning, you can adopt those investors who invested into APTV into our coin. So because of those partnerships that we have.
no, I think it's definitely a strategic partnership that's going to pay dividends for you guys in the long run, especially if
Yeah.
you're already cordoning off part of the real estate that's available within your ecosystem. I think that'll bring a lot of people in, like you said, from their community as well as other communities that want to go in and see their product. So it's very smart thinking on your part.
Yeah,
Wanted to
definitely
talk
want
a
to
little bit.
for this channel. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the avatars, how you access them, how much they're going to cost, and then what are some of the functions that they're able to do within your community or ecosystem.
Well, one of the avatars, they're, have that, I'm sorry, that rigging aspect to it, and how we rigged, excuse me, these avatars into the metaverse. We're definitely going to have, free avatars for people to use. And then we're going to be creating our own avatars and other third parties who's going to be also selling their avatars, onto that platform. Where people can actually, purchase those avatars. This is just like a video game, and anything can be configured, whatever's in your backpack, and whatever's in your inventory. And I'm not too sure if anybody, plays games, but you have games out there that have that inventory. You can grab this, you can grab this and that, different swords, different weaponry and that kind of stuff. And that's what we're gonna have, is that access to where they can change their avatars. They can, buy other things like a jetpack. You can, buy a dragon. You can purchase a car. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff that people can purchase from our NFT platform. Um, as far as the super detail and the cost of things, we definitely want to make it affordable because we want to bring in uh, um, that other party that's not into crypto, but for them to able to experience it. So we want both best worlds, and we might end up converting those people to be in crypto, if that makes sense. So um, as far as the cost goes, we haven't really decided on that. We have to kind of like look at the market value, but we definitely want to make it really affordable, especially where we're new. Um, and then later on, we can, you know, increase the prices for the assets that are being sold on the NFT platform, if that makes sense. So in the same sense, when Decentraland came out, they were selling land for really cheap. I don't know, it was like $50. Now those same land that you purchase are actually going for like $10,000. So, we're still discussing in terms of the cost and everything. And, since we're winding down towards launch, you know, are we going to have like this whole full blown assets? No, there are going to be a lot of free assets because we don't want one person to go in there being the same lookalike like everyone else. So we're going to definitely have free different, avatars. But as far as my Stray Dog series, my Stray Dogs avatar, yeah, they'll be sold, and I haven't really figured out on in terms of how much I'm going to sell them for, you know. But yeah, you can have different avatars in our metaverse. But as far as the cost goes, I don't know that figure yet. We have to do some market analysis on that to be competitive with pricing.
Yeah, I thought the Stray Dog NFTs were pretty badass looking. Really cool design, and I like the different like the skin colors and the camo pattern. I think was on one of them. So it's pretty interesting to see what you've already started with. Kind of to put you on the spot. Sorry to do it, but I got to. Do you think you'll be releasing one of those NFTs to one of our community members tonight?
Yeah, of course. I think people that I work with, I really enjoy your community. You definitely been kind to us and given us a platform for us to, share. I'm a very, warm-hearted and giving guy. I definitely want to advertise, USA crypto and our metaverse and giving you guys, um, something to have of your own community. You know, this is a vast land. I didn't know if you guys seen the video, but we were like in this corner. And we have all this stuff to build. And so definitely I want to give you guys something in return for giving us a platform to speak. And we can discuss that further. Later on this week or so or next. I've just been really so busy, but I definitely want to give you guys something that USA is on the map in our metaverse. Because we do want to track other call channels to have something where they can congregate and meet other channels and so forth. So, we want to, we were talking about, how are we going to have AMAs in the metaverse? And we're like brainstorming, how can we combine Twitter Space, TG, and Discord, um, and bring that to our metaverse to be that one platform where it could streamline to all the viewers. So we're trying to still kind of like wrap our stuff around our head around that, but we'll figure it out and we'll let you guys know. So it just brings something totally different, new and fresh, and it can draw a lot more people to your community. So most definitely, we want to do something with you guys because of giving us a platform to speak.
Yeah, appreciate that. I think it's a really, really cool idea too, just to get more information out there. You've already kind of mentioned the rugged film, and I think it's just a really good thing to bring people into the community and kind of explain some of the dirty sides of it, because we do see on the news, wow, this person just became a millionaire, but they don't explain how many times they got rugged and how much money they lost until they got to that point where they either luckily made a good decision or did a lot of research to get there. So I think that's pretty cool. With
Yeah,
with your lens,
you create me a video, and we'll insert it in our metaverse, and we'll have that ongoing. You create me some type of video with USA Crypto Group, we'll do it. We'll advertise it for you guys.
we might just hit you up on that for sure, especially with the wide audience you're going to be, taking in. So
Yeah, and our screens are like super high def, so use that to your advantage, as far as the media goes and stuff like that, to really promote your channel and promote you guys. You guys, I know a lot of you guys are devs from other projects, and you guys created this channel, so it's another way to get visibility on it.
definitely with your land sales and I guess the building, I did see in your white paper that you guys will be renting tools to build, and or you could have preset buildings that are already created, as well as features to the land, maybe trees, generators, things like that, to kind of make it seem like a more realistic city. Can you explain how that works, and then how you're going to rent features or lease, or how you can buy it and lease it to other people?
Yeah, the leasing part was, we were discussing about the leasing aspect. Um, I remember Vic was actually bringing that up, and that's definitely something that we have to talk about the leasing part, because what happens if I think one of the things that he talked about is if someone reneged their payment, or doesn't want it no more. Um, the user is no longer to be found. What happens to it? That kind of stuff. So we're still got to work out the details as far as leasing. But leasing, like your own private movie theater, that's pretty simple because you're just renting it out for one day. Can you build one of your own? Yes, you can. Will we have tools that are available? I think one of the tools that we are looking at too is building your avatars, rather than doing your own homes. Yet we don't know. I personally don't know unless I ask the devs, but they were more set on people building their avatars. Um, can you buy another asset from another place and put it into the metaverse? Yes, you can. You can do that. I'm not too sure what the onboarding fee would be. That we still have to discuss that part, where you can buy third-party assets out there and actually insert into our metaverse, and how long will it take, and what is the demand going to be? So we're definitely thinking about doing those things, but we haven't really gone into that part yet, because of just where our focus is at right now, with the marketing and getting things built out as far as the NFT platform, the land sales, and the metaverse being open to anybody. So we haven't got there yet. We still have another month to get to those talks and finding a concrete plan on how we're going to do that. But definitely, land sales, leasing, renting out your land, and your building and that kind of stuff. I think we kind of got that, because it's not like super long term in terms of when it comes to us, when it comes to our movie theaters. But when it comes to renting out the land from you owning it from a second party to a third party, we haven't really discussed that yet on how that exactly is going to work.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. For your marketplace, that was the next item I wanted to hit. I thought it was pretty cool. It made it sound like you could potentially make like a Chinatown or something like that, a bargain market where you're trading goods and services. But with that, there's always the concern of how are you going to validate or verify that those things are sure. So with that, are you guys thinking of doing an escrow service where, since it's totally decentralized, maybe you have a middleman in there that says, yes, your currency is legit, yes, your NFT is legit. How are you going to facilitate those trades on your platform?
Eskimo, write that one down. For me, because that's actually a good question. We haven't gotten to that, bro. I think those are some serious, valid questions of just some of the loopholes that can actually happen. I was more like thinking, man, when we build, things for the kids, whether it's gingerbread land or some type of land for the kids to enjoy, being our metaverse, we're thinking, how are we going to KYC, that and protect kids from being safe and making sure that they're um, that the parents feel safe about being our platform and not seeing things or being approached by, strange people per se, but as far as the one that you're talking about, I think it's something that we need to talk about, you know, but we haven't really got to that point yet, in terms of what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, like I said, I'm going to ask 100 million questions because
Yeah.
you have a lot of cool things here. I just want to kind of see what direction it's going and then just go forward from that.
Well, we definitely want to
So,
make it safe, and we definitely don't want it to be gamed in an abused, you know, environment. So, definitely we have to put those kind of like security measures, um, to just to keep everything safe, so that we don't really get into trouble, that kind of stuff, and keep users safety in terms of what's being sold uh, in our marketplace. I think honestly it has to go through our NFT platform. Anything that you try to sell, it has to go through our NFT platform. Now, can you wheel and deal inside the metaverse? Sure, you can. But as users, it'd be safe if you are like buying some type of a service that, we can validate some of those services that people are going to be, shilling in our metaverse. You buy a billboard and, letting people know I can do like, 1,000 media drops. We're doing all this marketing, and then all of a sudden people send them money, and then they don't get it. So definitely things where like that has to be, vetted. We have to control, and we have to control what assets are actually being sold to as well. We don't want to be bombarded with a million homes and we only got like 5 avatars. That would kind of like look off. So we want to kind of like balance things out, And so we definitely had those talks. But we're going to definitely have our priority list for it, since our NFT platform is going to be coming up. It's already up. It's just configuring it with the staking platform is the thing that our Naya comes in. How we're going to what assets are we going to choose, and if we do have more assets, and how we can insert that into the smart contract, you know, in regards to people staking their assets on our staking platform.
yeah, fair enough. So moving on to some of the other things that you guys had in your white paper that you're talking about doing on the upcoming portions of your ecosystem, you'd mentioned creating an arcade and a library as another feature for your members to do.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's kind of funny you say this. It's like um, one company is like, we want to be the first, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could appreciate that you guys could be first to have an arcade in the metaverse. And we had to get a little bit more specifics, on that, because like I said, we're a database driven uh type of ecosystem where we can onboard. If you have cryptocurrency tied to your game, it would be easy for us to have that game being inserted into our metaverse. But if it's just kind of like those regular kind of arcades, kind of stuff, it's definitely, we want to be that hub where we have all these different things that people can do. Now, as far as arcade gaming, I don't know to that specific in terms of what you're saying. What do you mean by as far as arcade? Like in what way?
Yeah, that's the way I understood it. So basically, like, we're kind of old school. We get called boomers now. We're not super old, but that's just shit happens. I'm thinking of like when we used to go to like an actual physical building and play video games. So I think that'd be really cool to kind of go in there, like see all the users playing different video games from all the different spectrums from, like the Neo Geos, all that crap. You go in there, you pick a game, and then it goes from your avatar just to straight into the screen, and then you're playing video games on your computer or your phone.
Yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have to sit down and talk with you because I think you bring up a lot of good points, and um, let's work something out because I think that's something that we need on our team. We need someone like that can look out and look in and see all those different points and misses that we can have in our ecosystem. So um, let's have that talk. There's so much that you can do with our platform and its scalability. I mean, it's amazing what you can do in the metaverse and really monetize, and just how you can scale it. So, definitely I want to have those talks with you, because you're definitely bringing up some good points on things that we should do and should not do, things to make us really, really think. Um, that we should be thinking at this very moment, you know. And that's what I love about our platform is because it's so scalable. We won't run out on things to do. I mean, we can make so much different portals. We can make NFT galleries, different cities, that can tie in with cryptocurrency communities, even on the outside world. So, there's just so much to touch upon and so much to look at. And sometimes we're going to go through some um, hard learnings, through the metaverse because it's so broad and so much things that you can do in it. And you know we're going to miss some boats. We're definitely going to miss some boats on that, and we're going to definitely easily correct them. There's going to be things inside that metaverse where people are going to try to game our our metaverse where they monetize when they shouldn't. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's going to be some hard learning experience through all this, but it's not that it's going to stop our project or anything like that. It's just one of those things that we need to make some corrections and really keeping the platform safe, because there's so many different ways to monetize on our platform. So especially what you're advertising, like you said, how are you going to vet some of the things that are going to be being advertised? We don't want to advertise things that are rugged. That's going to be like some rug project, and our viewers who are in our metaverse is like they're advertising, oh, that's a cool project. I trust it because it's part of METFX's metaverse. And then all of a sudden, people ape into it, and then we got rugged because someone advertised some rug project. So definitely, we have to put those security measures to ensure the safety of people's investments. They're already doing that in Decentraland where people are putting up billboards for their own project. We don't know if those are safe or not. I'm sure that they have a process, um, that they have, but still at the end of the day, you still have to do your own research. But if we do definitely see red flags in a project, then we might have to decline, because there's absolutely uh nothing that really backs up what you say that you're trying to um shill your or advertise your project onto our platform. you know
Yeah, it just emphasizes the fact that we're, a database driven metaverse rather than a blockchain driven metaverse. So we if the content creator is making a game, and it's an arcade game that they're utilizing our NFT platform and having their game in the metaverse, that can definitely be something that we can offer. So that type of games we can implement into the metaverse.
Yeah, I think that's extremely important just for user safety. I think we all kind of assume a certain amount of risk, but anytime that you can kind of, get rid of it a little bit, it's always beneficial to everybody. But since we covered that, I want to get over to my final question, and that's going to be covering your staking. So that is 25% of the token supply, which I think is smart to have a substantial portion of that, because that's going to be paying rewards distribution to your holders. So with that, are you guys doing fixed pools, or are you doing an adjustable rate? How are you guys going to work that?
I was talking to Arnaya, and we have to make a decision whether if it's going to be fixed. I think it was more like on a fixed pool, because then at least we kind of get an ideal of how long we can have that staking pool. Because I think that was one of my most important concern, is how long can this staking last? And he was said based on how much tokens we're allocating to that staking pool, maybe about 2 years. I'm also looking at another staking pool, system. It brought to my attention. He told me, "Hey, bro, I can actually fork drip." Yeah, I don't know if you guys know the drip token. Um, something that could last a lot more longer, and maybe potentially give better rewards, and something that's a little bit more, I wouldn't say it's more stable, but I'm looking more for something that's more longevity. So I'm still, debating on, in terms of the adjustable. It's not really my expertise. I think that it's his expertise, but we definitely want to get second opinions on it, whether if it's going to be fixed or adjustable. So I couldn't give you that straight answer, but we're definitely having our staking. And the devs, I told them that I need you guys to talk to, our dev team, which is Fahad, so that you guys can work out the kinks and come up with a decision on how the staking is actually going to work. So I'm still waiting for that answer, but
Yeah,
it's
so
definitely
you're
something
good. That
that
takes time to do it right. So
yeah.
that totally makes sense. But that's pretty much it for what I have for questions. But we're going to open the voice chat now to members in our community, and then I'm also going to go through our announcement channel. And for anybody who doesn't feel comfortable talking on the mic, I'll read their question.
Hello. Hello.
How are you
Yeah,
doing?
we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, sir?
We're doing good.
Good, good. What's
All
up?
right. Yeah. I love the passion with which you speak about your project. It's very contagious. I must say, the host has done a good job in touching almost all the aspects. But I'm just curious about the project. I want to know how confident have you been able to build up your brand? Because in any NFT project, the brand name and the branding is very important. So I want to know how confident have you been able to build up the brand so that your community members will even be able to project it further for you.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And we studied a lot of projects and what they did for building their brand and brand recognition, and the important aspects that we're doing with marketing and our brand is to make sure we do it in a way that it builds organic growth. We see these projects nowadays, like that might have a tremendous amount of followers, and you look at it and it's a lot of botted followers, or it's followers that don't have that engagement. So we want to make sure we build a brand that people, when they see the METFX logo, that they know that's something that they can, trust, they can relate to, and they have that community aspect and that community feel. So, we want to make sure we we advertise that when we're doing social media ads or social media posts, or pinning a message in the community. So we're always going to have that in mind with everything we do, is building the brand and making this a name that people can ultimately trust and relate to.
Okay, that's interesting. So I want to know. One more question about your community. Um, how do you interact with the community? How often is the interaction with the community like?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Yeah, we're kind of in that transition of kind of like where most of these NFT projects and these diverse projects are going is where it's building and focusing your community on Discord. That doesn't mean we're going to be like, getting rid of the Telegram room or anything like that. Um, it, that just means, having daily AMAs in Discord and building that Discord community, because we tend to see a majority of the bigger projects going that route. So we will have community interaction with by doing giveaways, by doing daily AMAs, and just by giving them daily updates. We'll also have an announcement channel on Telegram where everyone can stay in tune of what we're doing and get daily updates within our project.
Yeah, as far as the brand recognition part, it's people, companies are definitely going to be, um, well, companies are definitely going to be purchasing land and want to advertise and stuff like that. But I think one of the most important thing is really the media drops and the media to build that brand recognition. The live streaming app is also going to be something that we're going to be advertising where people are going to be play to earn. It's going to bring a lot of noise to the crypto industry, just with the media drops. And this is what Crypto Kid does: is he does a lot of media drops for a lot of different companies and does different type of consulting services. But one of the things that people really go for him is for those media drops because they're really vital. It puts a footprint on Google about your project. And that whenever time, like if you go in there and you pull up, METFX, you'll see us on Yahoo, not Yahoo News. You'll see us Business Insider. You'll see a lot of different, articles that's written about us. So, it's all about building that content. Content is really important in this industry. We're already one of the persons that we got is really a content writer that's coming aboard with us so that we can continuously build more content out there. Um, so more people can know about our brand. But it's definitely going to come through naturally. I wouldn't say naturally, so to speak, but we're definitely building that business department where we're going to start reaching out to businesses. We're definitely going to start giving out, free land to NFT communities and things like that, that we're going to be reaching out to so that we can get more of their community to be involved. Like, oh, we're in METFX, they named a street, after us, that's going to ring bells, especially with Twitter, and advertising it. And, with Twitter, people can, show these messages, across the board to other communities and tag people. And so we have those marketing schemes for more people to know more about our platform through not only just through media drops, but, through YouTube. We're going to be doing a lot of QOLs with other um, top influencers that we're going to be paid for. When you're talking, when you're talking to a YouTube influencer, who has probably 1 million subscribers or a 500,000 or 300,000, that could be a potential of, I'm not going to say that 300,000 people will look at it in terms of what his subscriber, but it's there. So it's about creating those footprints on all these different social medias in order to help with the brand recognition. And so it's really important that our that we have that marketing team that knows these top influencers, know um uh Twitter and influencers, and getting it trending. Do we have to pay for that trending news? Yeah, we're definitely going to spend. We have no problem about spending money on the marketing. To trend on Twitter, it costs us a pretty substantial, but it's worth it because people will know us. We'll be trending. What's trending on Twitter? Oh, METFX. People click it. They see the news. Someone just won $100,000, and a kid comes around and drops that article news. What? A metaverse? Someone won 100,000 in the metaverse off a game called Treasure Hunt? What the heck is that? We're gonna build that curiosity. So we definitely are bringing some marketing experts in collaboration in terms of who we're working with. The fact that we're working with Loud Chain and Token Promoters, they have the most incredible marketing schemes. Not DMing, hooking 10 million users, the hooks, they've scraped approximately 25 million users on Instagram. And I was looking at the marketing scheme I was just like, wow. And I go, yeah, bro, it brings in a lot of people into your Discord. And, right, you're going to do it on that sweet spot when pre-sale's up. We're going to bring all these people. We don't want to do it now. The reason why we do it now is because we're still a month from now, and we don't want to just keep people waiting. We want to get people on that hype. And hype is such an important thing in this industry in terms of how successful your project can be, especially during launch. So we're going to be on launching, they told me, Alvin, we're going to be scraping about 25 million users, and they've already prepped the hooks and everything for it. So, that's why we're not like doing so many different AMAs, out there, that we thought that we should, is because we see a change, in it when you're actually doing it such an early time, but we definitely want to get that thing cranking, right before that last week. We're gonna, according to his hooks and what he does, it's gonna bring a lot of people. I can't really tell you how much, but people are paying definitely $85,000 for that service, and I'm actually getting that service almost for free, and I'm going to pay for it if it's very successful. So, just to have that type of a marketing where there's another part where there's, with Twitter and stuff like that and how they do it, we're just waiting for that sweet time to do it, and working with the audio launch pads. So the fact that we're on audio launch pads, we're aiming for 8. If we can do more, that's great. The fact that we're working with token promoters for the 25 million, hooks that they're going to do. Not actually they create the hooks. It's getting those people to see all these different hooks, to draw more people about our project, and the fact that we know people in the industry that can get us trending on Twitter. So when it comes to brand recognition, I hope that answers your question. We have the connections. We have, the ability to have our project to be known, because of the thing because of what we have access to, and we know that they're proven to work.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and one more thing about that.
you
When we
actually do it.
say like partnerships with influencers, we just don't mean like a single post. We want to, like, basically interact and engage with their followers. So we want that, like, partnership where, they put a link to METFX in their bio, or they change their profile pic to one of our NFTs, or they're doing a certain amount of posts in a month or 2 month span. So we want that partnership with those special influencers that have that ability to move the needle, so to say.
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
set those aside for 2.5%, just for that, because, when you're doing a partnership, you think about it. Guy does it, a TikTok on you. He's doing many TikToks, even though his TikTok is, for that one moment in time that could bring investors in. But we want something that's more substantial, you know, um, that they're really like some of the influencers, like, bro, we cut a deal. I can promote your project for an entire month. This is the kind of partnerships that we want to do. Not something that we just pay somebody to just do one one TikTok or one video. We want to work with people that can do multiple videos, for us, to give other people more updates on our project. So to us, that's our strategy. We want to definitely have more long term, partnerships that will stand behind our project, and they have those incentives, that we give out. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does, it does. That's awesome, awesome. I actually love the fact that you have concrete plans, and also that you're learning from successful projects ahead of you, which is impressive. Like, keep it up. Thanks for the opportunity, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, we got 2 questions in chat, and this kind of covers your 15 years of network engineer experience. But for Mike on our team, what will be the minimum amount of hardware requirements for METFX's metaverse?
Well, according to, we were like thinking about our dual redundancy. It's definitely going to be pretty expensive because we definitely want to have our own servers to keep it really kind of secure. And this is where, Fahad comes in working for the NSA. So we're definitely going to, have those, patches and updates and, firewalls to really ensure to keep the database safe. Definitely people are going to try to hack that. They're going to try to hack, our NFT platform. So in terms of like the hardware, it can be very, very pricey, in terms of, buying, hard drives, because we're going to, of course, got to be on a race system. So if one of the hard drives fail, we got to have those things on standby to replace them. In terms of having it in a co-location, I think we're going to have one in Vegas because it's just easy access for Fahad to get in there and do his thing. But we definitely want to have a dual redundancy network where if, you know, a fiber line kind of goes down and, um, there's a fiber line cut that,
Alvin.
we can have dual redundancy in place to
Alvin, sorry
keep.
to cut off. Sorry to cut
Yeah.
off, but I think he means the hardware cost for the person who will be using the metaverse,
Oh,
not our setup cost. Yeah, that would be minimal. We are aiming to make it available on Google Lens as well. So any kind of virtual reality goggles that can support an Android device or an iPhone, you will be able to use it over there. We will provide a controller, like there will be a controller rig to it, so you will be able to access it over multiple devices and multiple platforms. So it's not that initially it will be available on virtual reality headsets only. Some of them, like there is HTC Vive and Oculus. So initially it will be available on them, but on later stages it will be available for Android devices that can be hooked up on a VR makeshift goggle.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why we didn't emphasize so much, because the Oculus is really backed up with, onboarding, let's just call it, projects. It's just like almost like a year or more waiting list. So we definitely wanted to hit Web3. I'm sorry, the web, version and on your mobile phones. So I hope that answers your question, but that's just one of our strategy. And plus not everybody can have a VR. So we didn't want to have something that was just VR strictly. We have that VR capability where you can use a VR. We did found a workaround by having the files on our website if you do have an Oculus, and you can enter into our metaverse, through that way. But actually being in the store, that takes about, a, they say it's taken about a year or so. But we did figure out a way that people who do have Oculus that want to use their VR into our metaverse, they can. But right now we're focusing on web and your mobile phones.
Right on, I like it. So the final questions from Vaccine Man. Majority investors in BSC looking for short-term gains. How do you plan to hold people on METFX tokens and prevent them from selling? What benefit will you provide to them for holding? So maybe in the first week, you guys offer a special avatar or NFT card for the members that hold 1 to 2 weeks. What's your hook to get them in there?
I think a lot of people, 95% of these projects that are coming out, they don't have their utility. And I think, people get into the hype for the pump, but I think, you want people to sell and you want people to buy in, you want to have, other entries where other investors can get in. You can't really just continuously just keep people all the time. It just doesn't work that way. From the way that we look at it, we want to have that volume, but we definitely want to have that healthy chart. We definitely want to bring new news to the table, especially constantly the development and doing partnerships, influencers, and just the fact that we have our platform. It's gonna. I hope that people who look at our project be like, dang, they got their utility, they got their NFTs. It's not many people can do that, and so there are people who could see the light and be like, yo, this one, I might just have to put in and just hold, just because we have the utilities. That was one of our approaches um, to this, because we've seen other metaverse projects. They have that hype, and it dies down because they don't have the utility. They don't, and they're not willing to spend marketing on it because they don't have the utility. So you're kind of like stuck until the utility comes out, and then yeah, you can probably like, try to pump the charts back up again. But sometimes it could really hurt a project, and we feel that the way that we want people to look at our project is the fact that we have our utilities, and I think that's what's going to make people different about how they look at our project and how they're going to invest in it, whether they're going to be the long term or they're going to be the short term. And I think that the fact that we have um, our assets in terms of the metaverse and the NFT platform and coming down with the downloadable app, it's all about how we convey to our community, because I think investors are going to be part of our community, of course, and really kind of like educate them and really doing some comparison. I mean, the fact that Step In came out of nowhere, it's just a freaking move to earn, and it's awesome. But why not watch to earn? Can it have that same effect? And so we want to build that trust into the community in terms of our marketing team. And I think that once we have those thousands of people coming into our chat room on a day long, it's going to change some minds. It really is. It's just like, dang, I don't want to say what number that we're looking for, but when I talk to Roman, he's telling me, bro, we have to come up with a plan because we can crash that server. So, it's there's several
Yeah,
factors.
no, we definitely have a plan to systematically attract and convert new users to the platform. Like, we're going to do it through, like Alvin was saying, through content marketing, video marketing. We're going to have a lot of, banner ad campaigns, media drops, a lot of paid advertising on social media, a lot of, marketing on social media to audiences that have interest in like NFTs and metaverses. So yeah, we have an approach to definitely attract users to this platform, and we're not going to do it all on day one. We're going to systematically do it over time, and we're going to, that's going to equal investors as they see, what we have to offer, how we're trying to, you know, help increase exposure for different artists and content creators.
Perfect. I really like the breakdown and kind of once again showing you guys already have a plan, and then you have contingencies to the plan as well. So I think that's fantastic.
I'll
So
tell you
at
this.
this point,
I'll guarantee you the partnership with ATV, Board ATV, that should already speaks already. That already is going to be in play, and I'll put myself really really out there, especially to the people that's here. If you invest into our coin, that partnership is definitely going to happen. There's no doubt about it. I could show you guys the white paper that my name is written right there, Alvin Nicholas. So that partnership is definitely going to be in play, just because we're our team is starting to work, with them. Um, and I just want to just show you, just type of things that we're doing, is pre-establishing, some of these partnerships. You know.
are you still there?
Oh yeah, there was noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. I just muted a person that had their mic on. Do we have any other questions in the chat?
Yeah, I got a question. You mentioned contingencies, and then you also mentioned in the staking. Hello?
Yeah. What was that again, Matt?
Yeah, you mentioned contingencies, and then you also mentioned that in the staking, it's like 25% of tokens are set aside, unlocked for rewards. Do you have a contingency, like maybe a reserve set up so that as people sell their rewards, you can possibly do a buyback to offset the negative pressure whenever people want to rightfully cash out the rewards that they've earned?
Yeah, I think that's,
I
I
I can
think the
answer
market.
that. Let me answer that. We will have multiple revenue streams for the metaverse, and some of that will be stationed for the buybacks. So yes, there will be something like that happening soon. It's not in the white paper yet because we are still working on the revenue model. We are still working on like how we are going to chart out the land parcels and how we are going to funnel in the sales we bring in from the NFTs and the percentage that we will get from the NFT marketplace. So it's still not in the white paper, but yeah, something like that will be happening in the METFX. Matt, does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers the question. I just like to know, especially whenever such a large portion like that is going into rewards, that there is a plan set in stone and that it's not just an intent, but something's out there. Like in a perfect world, every single token that gets rewarded, in my opinion, would already be paid for in advance through buyback. So the worst case scenario, you reward it and then the person sells it and then it goes back to where it began, but there's no negative pressure. But even if you just had like a reactive process in place that buys back as people sell reward tokens, I'd see that also as a very suitable way to keep a project in the positive.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
Yeah,
like
no,
staking will not be available right off from the launch. So it will be introduced later on so that like people can
that's
at the when
no,
yeah.
no, Escanor, just clarification, bro. I talked to Arnaya that staking will be available at launch.
Okay.
If you have a disagreement, then on that, then we have to take that up with Arnaya. But from the last time that I talked to him, when he came into our HQ to give us an update, the staking platform will be ready. Does it mean, can we start it right away? Yes. Can we hold back on it? We can. And that's something that we have to talk about in terms of, how you see it. So we're just gonna have to talk more about it and the strategic around it. But as far as the people here, we do have a staking platform. And one of the subjects was what assets from the NFT platform can people stake into? You know, while they're holding those assets, they can earn. So, it just drives incentives, to buy more from the platform because they're earning from it. You know.
Thanks,
Yeah, I
Goose. I
understand
appreciate
that.
that.
Yeah.
Looks like we had one more question from Punter, and then we're going to have to end the question portion there.
You know how I get long-winded. I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind indulging.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say it's a really interesting aspect of the way that you guys have sort of linked the ideas of this, content consumption with a metaverse that seems like it could essentially be infinitely expansive. I think that's really cool. My first question is about the metaverse aspect. In particular, you were talking about the ability to have and host your own spaces, your own rooms, or what have you. Now, say that I, as a member and a user, I decide that I want to have a space, and I want to have it, perpetually open so that, my friends, clanmates, whatever, can come and go. Now, how would that look? How would my ability to own that kind of a space would it be represented by an NFT, or is it something that I would have to pay just like a flat monthly membership price to have that space on a server? And would I be able to move or sort of change the conditions of that space on a whim? How does ownership of a a room work?
So the real estate opportunities and all the virtual facilities will be available for lease, rent, and purchase. So the like if like so everything that you the agreement will be in the form of the NFT. If you buy the land, you will get an NFT that will represent the ownership of it. If you lease it, you will get an NFT. If you rent it, you will get an NFT. That's how it's gonna be. And it will be up to you. Like either you can get a fully furnished facility or you can buy a piece of land and then customize it on your own. So you will have those options.
Using other NFTs that I can
Yes.
acquire
Buy from the
elsewhere.
marketplace. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Okay, so then let's jump into my second question. It's kind of a sort of a different direction here. I heard you mention earlier that you have or are looking into a partnership with Blocktopia, if I heard you correctly.
So
No,
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 no, no,
no.
not
Launchpad,
Blocktopia. They
Launchpad,
have a
Launchpad.
launch pad. Yeah, Blocktopia owns a launch pad. It's called Blockpad. So they
Oh,
have
okay, I understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm really interested in Blocktopia's own little metaverse, and so I was thinking it'd be interesting to see how you could sort of integrate your world into theirs and just be able to step back and forth. I mean, I guess that's all part of the bigger metaverse idea that
Yeah.
has been sort of
That's
growing in people's minds, and so I was just wondering if this is kind of like a step in that direction.
Well, I mean, as far as, partnering up with other metaverses, we have that capability. And I think we showed it in the video that we can create these portals and access codes, not just into other different portals within our metaverse, but have the capability of being in other people's metaverse as long as we're like, I think, on the same engine as them, you know. But we have that capability of doing it. I think we showed it in a video where you were able to go into this kind of like green neon kind of thing. You go in it and you get portaled into a whole new other world. And this is what's going to make our platform very interesting, is the different worlds that we can create. One day you can be in a place where it's Dragonland. One day you could be in like an ape town, ape city. You can be in Sky City. I mean, it could just go on and on in terms of the, even in a game mode, where it can be a survival, where you can host, in the portal, you can have 1,000 people. You throw up some type of, you see if you guys can kill me, and 1,000 people will try to get up in there and look for you and try to kill you. All I'm just trying to say is we have that capability, the expertise, and the imagination to build these different portals to give a different flavor, not just staying in just one sector of the metaverse that we create, and it's just filled with buildings, but we can portal into something which is a total new environment that we can actually kind of create. Whether if you're on Mars or somewhere on the moon, that kind of stuff, we can create those things. And so the imagination continuously goes on and on and on, and we have those capabilities to create those environments. So as far as the security
Brilliant.
aspect, Punter, I think you kind of mentioned about the people that you invite, and in that video it shows you that you can we'll have that communication aspect where you can communicate with the people that you're tagged in with in the metaverse, and you can start giving your access code, so no one can just walk in freely. You don't want to wake up. I mean, this is real world stuff. Even though it could be digital, but you have those real live things where, imagine you just decide to pop into your home and there's somebody in there, like, hey, what's this? So, we give those privacy aspects, to it, where you can have an access code, who you want in and out, from your um, whatever you host, in terms of whether if it's an event, whether if it's your home, or whether if it's in your clubhouse, your building, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
Real
I
life.
mean, you could even have it, so that say you could mint NFTs that are essentially like a key to your house, or
Invitation
in the
passes,
case,
yes.
Yeah, or like, concert tickets that would allow you to access, certain events,
Yeah.
different accesses or different access keys that are some that would potentially be tied or timed, some that would be like one-time use, some that would just be indefinite, and it'd kind of be up to the user or that rather the creator, and then they can just kind of hand them out to their friends or raffle them off, sell them off, whatever they want to do. However, they want to either promote events or just open things up to their team members, or
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm
sky's the
excited
limit.
about the metaverse. It's like what you see now, and 2 days later, there could be totally something different. I think one of the things, guys, that I want you guys to know, our devs is even programming, artificial intelligence. We do have another video, where we have dogs that can actually go up to you. You know what I mean? We're trying to create an environment where it's really, really kind of like interesting and not just something that's just empty. We want to create some real life stuff that you see in the world. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna do some pretty funky stuff, um, to make this metaverse, interesting, you know, and
Absolutely.
how we're programming it into it, having that AI feature in there. So
We
we
see
do
we
have
see
that
so
video.
many we see so many metaverse projects these days where they say, oh, it's metaverse, but really it's just like it's one game with one universe. It sounds like what you guys are building is an actual metaverse, and it's refreshing to hear it. When you hear the word misused so often in this space by people that just want to glom onto it. It's fantastic.
I completely
Bravo.
agree with you on that. I completely agree with you on that. What were your other
All
questions?
right,
Do you have any
so
other questions, Punto?
that should be it for questions today. So what I like to do is I like to leave it on the project to give us a 2 to 3 minute pitch. I want you guys to explain what makes your project special, and I want you to convince us why we should buy in.
Well, one, I want to thank you guys for, having us here. I mean, what really makes us different, you've heard the stories already, especially from the community, some of the things that we're inserting into our metaverse, different portals. It's just the fact that we have our utility is another thing to really looked at. Um, and just our marketing team, that we have, and the collaborations that we're doing, the fact that, we're going to have that collaboration with, ATV, that partnership that we're going to have is really going to be bullish, because that's going to be a very bullish project. So, the fact that, we have the utility, we have the imagination, and you could just see it through our videos, having that privacy, teleporting into a new world, even though that world is not developed yet. But are we developing it? Yeah, sure, 100%. So we have that creativity in this, and we have that marketing team, and we're going to be, the fact that it's a play to earn, I mean, watch to earn. That's a very bullish. Just look at Step In. They came out to be, one of the workout videos, workout, platform where you can earn. It's the same thing, watch to earn. We want to definitely be the ones to bring that, into the crypto space where people can earn for something that they already do. We have a very scalable, platform. It's obvious based on a lot of things that we touched up, and a lot of, what, people are saying in this chat room. It's definitely, a win, because of the utilities that we already have in place. you know. So, join us. This is not something to be, missed. Which one are you going to invest to? A project with no utility, or a project with a utility? We're not a gaming sense, play to earn kind of game, which is out there and it doesn't. But with our metaverse, we bring something totally different. The fact that, you can watch movies in our metaverse, the fact that you already seen the high definition, and that you can touch and bring that onto your computer. It just brings a whole, a new thing, on the way that you can watch movies, the way that we're not just going to be playing US based movies, but, we're going to be stretching out to different, different geographics, of some of the movie trades to bring in those other investors where they feel like we thought of them. They feel appreciated, like wow, they're showing our movies um, that we love into the metaverse that reaches out to us. You know what I mean? So the fact that Bollywood is so huge, definitely we're going to be playing those movies, and we're definitely going to get a lot of investors, um, just from that, and just a lot of the collaborations and partnerships that we're going to create through our platform.
Fantastic. Thank you. So this is JM2 with USA Crypto Group. Once again, this has been an AMA with METFX. And if you're interested in an ever-expanding metaverse with not just individual, but with social aspects, they're also going to be doing a gaming and betting scenario with live sports on there in increments. And they also plan on setting up theme parks. So you guys have additional questions, please go see Goose over at the METFX Telegram. They're open to questions, suggestions, whatever you think that you would like to see in the metaverse. But remember, this is for informational purposes only. It's always important to do your own research. We are not financial advisors, but if you are interested, please hop over to their group, tell them USA Crypto Group sent you, and I'm going to pass the mic to Mike for the prize distribution, and we can talk in VC, or not VC, in Telegram, and we'll see you there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Goose. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you guys are always welcome back here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. With that being said, we have $25 to give away instead of on a wheel tonight. I figured we'd do a duck race. We'll swap it up. I'm sure USA has already been in the main chat telling you guys to go on over to how to earn another $25. Join in over to METFX World Telegram and say USA Group sent me with a great AMA, win cash, and I will go over there shortly and pick another winner. Usually, you guys know I usually have my daughter pick that winner, but she's in bed. It's a little late over here, so I'll be picking that winner. With further ado, we have a 1 minute timer on this. Who's it gonna be? Now remember, guys, you got to quack for your duck to go faster. I need to hear some quacking.
Quack, quack,
Quack,
quack,
quack,
quack,
quack,
quack,
quack, quack, quack, quack.
quack, 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 quack. Did I win? Quack, 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 quack.
Quack,
Juniper,
quack.
go, Juniper, quack, quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Oh, USA! Quack, 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 quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Quack, 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 quack,
Quack, quack, quack, quack, quack, quack.
Seattle wants this one.
quack, 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 quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Quack, 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 quack,
10
quack, quack.
seconds. Is that Mike coming out in front?
Quack, 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 quack. Oh no, we gotta get Mike. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. What?
Oh, you guys kill me.
Damn.
Does the quacking actually do anything, or are we just making fools of ourselves?
It absolutely does nothing.
Participation. It felt good.
Oh, you're making a fool of yourself. Don't worry.
That's the first thing I've ever won in this whole months of being in here, so I'll take it.
Very nice.
Wait, you know what? Maybe I'll pick a second winner in the other room. Yeah, that's what
Congrats, man.
So with that being said, great AMA, guys. We have another AMA just around the corner here. Actually, it's supposed to be starting right now. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to get the AMA all pinned and posted in the main chat with the winners. And, yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, that was a great AMA, you guys.
Again, like he said, we do have another one back to back. We decided to be ambitious today. So if you're interested in learning more about Skate Finance, please stay in the room. And, yeah, just hang tight.